Kia ora and hello everyone. This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, as well as international education advisor, coming live from Hamilton, New Zealand, like every week, and giving all you beautiful people out there information about how we can move to New Zealand, either on a temporary or on a more permanent basis. As always, I will start by showing my license to you. That is the license that I got after a lot of hard work. I had to do that course there. You see that one there? So I had to do a course and also go through various other checks, like get a police certificate and get it all cleared before the government of New Zealand, or to be precise, one particular entity called the Immigration Advisors Authority could provide me with that license so that I can sit here and talk to all you wonderful people and tell you about how we can move to New Zealand. So as always, coming live. I'm coming live twice a week nowadays, and last week I missed my session on Saturday. Sorry about that, guys. For those of you who were waiting for me, but I'd been to Auckland with my family, and by the time I came back, I was 30 minutes behind the time. So sorry about that, but hopefully we will cover it today in this particular session. Also, apologies beforehand if I look a little tired, but yes, I'm very tired. I did a very, very long trek over on Sunday with my daughter and one of my AJV students. We did this entire trail called the Hakari Mata Walkway, which is a walk across an entire mountain range. It was 12 kilometers and it took us about 7.5 hours. So very tired from that still, and my legs are still very achy. Plus, of course, the Soccer World Cup is keeping me awake very, very late, and so all the dark circles are from the Soccer World Cup. So if I look a little tired, yeah, these are the two reasons. But don't worry, I'll try and dig deep and come out with the energy and give you guys good answers like always. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And before we move on, I think England is going to win this Soccer World Cup. If you're not supporting England, don't shoot me down. Okay, guys, let's get started. And I will start while I'm waiting for the questions to come in. So all of you who are watching me live on Facebook and YouTube, request all of you who are watching it on YouTube to post your questions on the Facebook page where this is coming live, because it's easier for me to answer questions if I see them all in one place as against trying to toggle between the different tabs on my computer. So it will be awesome if you guys can come to Facebook page and post your questions. The page is facebook.com/AJB Global, or just come to Facebook and search for AJB Global. You should be able to get our page and then come there and ask your questions. I'd be more than happy to go ahead and answer your questions. So I will, excuse me, I'm going to start today by answering a question from one of our prospective students called Nikhil, who has written me a pretty long email, and I had promised Nikhil that I'm going to give him a video answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read his question first. It's pretty long, so I'll try and cut it short and give the gist of it. It says, "Hello, Arun sir. I have seen many of your videos and I'm very impressed with the genuine and frank advice you're imparting. The services and onshore support that you provide to your students is very appreciable. Thank you, Nikhil." He goes on to say that he is a government employee in India. He is 29 years old and he's earning a very good salary. He is also in a good position, but he is now inspired to move to New Zealand because it is corruption free and a lot of other benefits. And he goes on to say that he has contacted not only the AJV team, but he's also contacted a couple of other consulting firms. And he also has got a background of master's in business management. And then he's got a Bachelor of Arts, a 6-month diploma in computer application, a 2-month certificate in cooking, a 3-year diploma in electronics and communication. So he's got a whole lot of background to his profile. And he says he has approached some people, and one of them suggested to do a PG diploma in business management. And the other said this diploma doesn't have scope in New Zealand, so to go for PG diploma in logistics and supply chain management. So, and then some other consultant told him that New Zealanders only prefer locals for marketing related jobs. So because of that, and then the consultant pressurized him to start the application without complete guidance. And so he's a little confused and asking me for my answer. So, and is written saying that with the hope of getting a friendly and genuine advice from me, I'm writing this long email. So, Nikhil, I think the I've already answered you through emails, and I've also shared some of my other videos as well in relation to the same thing. But the bottom line, Nikhil, is it is not whether, I mean, somebody is suggesting to get into the supply chain and the logistics because that comes under something called the long-term skill shortage list. But it is not always the right thing to jump into something called a long-term skill shortage list just because it comes on that particular list. If you do not have a background in it, I do not advocate it. I actually recommend that you get into a more generic business course, which covers papers like administration, finance, marketing, sales, a bit of HR perhaps, so that you have a broader base, and then you'll be able to pick and hopefully be able to find a career in one of these many areas. But if you get into logistics and supply chain management without any background in it, then it may not be the right thing for you because it's a very specialized field and you need to be well versed in it before you can actually stake a claim for a job. So, my recommendation in situations like this is to choose a more generic kind of a business course which has got a broad base so that you can eventually, after you finish the course, can opt for a job either in administration or marketing or sales or HR or finance, because most generic business courses cover all these different papers. And please do not believe these people who sit in some other country and talk about the job market in New Zealand. They really don't know what they're talking about. A lot of our students who have come to New Zealand and done generic business courses have found jobs in admin and the recruitment industry and customer service and sales and marketing, and so they are finding jobs. So it is very incorrect for them to give you that kind of an advice. So I think it's better that you talk to someone like us who are based here in New Zealand, because it's our everyday life. I wake up every day in the morning and I go to a mall or I go to a shop. I see my society around me, and I know that there are opportunities for everybody in the society. New Zealand is a very open and accepting society. They will not discriminate against you based on your color or your nationality or your ethnicity or your sexual orientation or so many other things. So they are not people who will differentiate like that. So bottom line, as I keep saying in each and every one of my videos, it will always boil down to your knowledge, your skill, your attitude, and most importantly, your English communication skill and the confidence you portray in a particular interview scenario. So if you're a confident young person with good English skills and are willing to take the chance of coming as an international student, I believe you will succeed. And bear in mind, you also have someone like us on show to support and guide you at each and every step. And so this combination of your own skill, knowledge, and attitude, and also followed by some advice from us, I think will go a long way in trying to create that right platform for you to succeed, Nikhil. So go, like I wrote in my email, if you're confident about your skills, go ahead and move ahead with confidence. There are thousands and thousands of international students coming to New Zealand every year. I say this again, not everybody will succeed. Only about 19 or 20% will succeed in getting jobs and moving on into the next level of employment or visas. But thankfully, the kind of selection we are doing with our students, I think our success rate with our students is very, very high. So we are confident that it's not only your skill and attitude and knowledge, but also a bit of advice from us. So this combination is working really well. So Nikhil, move ahead with confidence and you will do quite well. All right. Okay. Cool. I'm going to quickly check to see if there are any questions. Oh, there are some questions that have come through already. So I'm going to quickly run through these questions. And the question is from Arvind. Sejal Sagar asks, is it possible for work permit? Very brief question from Sejal. Work permits are possible, but again, when you're not in New Zealand and you're outside in some other country, I mean, you don't get a work permit, or we don't use the word permit any longer. We only use the word work visa. So if you're looking for a work visa in New Zealand, you first need to have a job offer in New Zealand, unless and until you are an international student who has completed the course and then is eligible for something called the post-study work visa. So work visas are possible, but if you're looking for a direct work, and there are different kinds of work visas. There is post-study work visa, there's essential skills work visa, there is work to residency work visa. So there are various kinds of work visas that are there. So Sajal, I suggest you get in touch with us, and based on your background and your other details, we will be able to suggest you what is the best work visa for you. All right, yeah, cool. Next question. This is somebody from YouTube, but called On the Go 364, who has asked what is the scope of accounting profile. Again, this is a question that keeps getting asked quite often, and I respond back saying there are certain professionals in any country which will always be in demand. Some are priests, some of these professions are priests, lawyers, doctors, teachers, accountants, and undertakers. So these are some of the professions which will always be in demand. There is a reasonable amount of demand for accounting professionals as well on the go. 364, interesting name. So if you're wanting more information, I think I put up a video on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Arun Jacob New Zealand, and you should be able to come across my YouTube channel. And I believe I put up a video about the accounting profile. But in case it is not there, please connect with me through the inbox of Facebook, and I should be able to provide more answers, or my team will be able to provide more answers. And if you cannot connect to me via inbox on Facebook, please send an email with your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we guys will respond and talk to you more about it. But accounting profiles, yep, absolutely, the opportunities would be there because it is one of those essential professions that is required in any society, any country. So it's an absolute no-brainer from that perspective. Okay, cool. Arvind Sundaresan, next question. I'm an AJV student. Thanks, Arvind. We appreciate all you young people who choose to work with us, despite the fact you have a wide choice of agencies and companies to go through. But if you do work with us, we're really, truly appreciative of it, and we commit our long-term support to you. Right. I'm asking for my friend, having a permanent tattoo in body, is there any problem in future when applying for any visas or PR? As I said, some are saying it will be a problem. Please just clarify. I don't think it will be a problem as such. Arvind, having a tattoo, permanent tattoo in body, there is absolutely no problem. It is not an illegal thing to have a permanent tattoo on your body. Interesting. You should be. So, at the Arvind, so tell your friend not to worry and just connect with us, and we can help him. Just talking about tattoos in New Zealand. Tattoos are an intrinsic part of the local Maori indigenous culture here in New Zealand. I mean, as I'm sure most of you guys are aware, New Zealand was originally settled by the Maori race who came to New Zealand and then were the first original inhabitants of this country before then the Europeans started coming in later, and then of course like followed by migration from a lot of other countries. But the in the Maori culture, and I'm very fortunate to have you guys see that certificate there, that on top there, that is my very proudly my level 2 certificate in Te Maori, which is the Maori language here in New Zealand. So I can actually have a basic conversation in Maori. And it was not only from my personal interest to learn about the culture and tradition of the local indigenous people of New Zealand, but I believe even as a licensed immigration advisor, it is important for me to understand the history and ethos of this country to be able to give all of you good advice. So tattoos are an intrinsic part of the Maori culture in New Zealand. In fact, some of the men have something called the full face moko, moko meaning tattoo. So it's called te moko, which is the full facial tattoo. So once in a while, you will, if you actually go to Google and search Maori face tattoo, you will see people with a full tattoo all across the face. And then the women do on something on the shin. This is called a moko kawe, which is again a sign of respect for a woman who has a Maori lady who has achieved a particular standing in the social structure. So tattoos are an intrinsic part of New Zealand. So it is absolutely part and parcel of our culture here. So tell your friend not to worry about it. But good question, Arvind. I quite like this interesting questions which move away from science and geography and mathematics and IT and English. So it's pretty good. So yeah, cool. Next question. Abdul Karim Muhammad asks, as a student, please let us something about admission. I think Abdul is wanting to know about the admission process. The admission process is quite simple, Abdul. I mean, obviously, you need to have a decent track record to be able to get into the kind of course you're getting into, depending on the level that you're opting for. So the levels go up to all the way up to 10, which is 10 being PhD, 9 being master's, 8 being postgraduate diploma, 7 being bachelor's and graduate diplomas, and then below that you have 6, 5, which is your diplomas, and then you have your certificates, and 4 and 3 and 2. So that's how it goes. So that's the way it is. So depending on what level you're opting for would be the admission process, Abdul. So there will be an IELTS requirement, there will be an academic requirement. So that's how it is. And normally you also need to write something called a statement of purpose, explaining and outlining why you want to get into this particular course. So based on that is how you will be able to get admission. But because this is a live session with a limited time frame, I may not be able to delve too much into the depths of it. So please connect with our team, and then we will give you all the details about admission and whether you're eligible or not for a particular course. All right, Abdul. So please do connect with us. And guys, as always, I request you. I mean, don't just listen to these things and go ahead and send us your inquiry. You can either inbox me on Facebook or send an email with your CV to info@agvglobal.com, and we will come back to you. And as I keep telling you in each and every one of my broadcasts, we are not some hardcore salespeople who will come and latch on to you and say, go to New Zealand now, go to New Zealand now. We are not like that. We are people who will give you good, honest, genuine information. And based on that, if you're able to take a call and you want to move to New Zealand, we will help you, provided you match all the parameters. Because like how you have a choice, we have a choice as well of not wanting to work with some people who we believe are not eligible to come to New Zealand. So quite often, in fact, for every application we accept, we actually say no to 4 or 5 other applicants because we believe they're not well equipped to come to New Zealand, either because their academics are bad, or their money is not clear, or their English is not good, or there is some other problem, there is a legal problem or a health issue. So we actually keep saying no to a lot of people. But when we do decide to work with a student, we're kind of doing the first level of scrutiny to ensure that everything is right and that you're fit to be in New Zealand. So go ahead and talk to us, and we'll be very honest and straightforward with you guys. Cool. Next question, Elvia Susan Elias asks, can you please tell me if it's possible to get license after doing oral health course and the PR options after that? Elvia, I'll be honest, I don't know. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't recollect whether you will get a license after doing oral health course. The best suggestion is I would ask you to go to the Dental Council website, the Dental Council of New Zealand website. And normally, what happens is that the Dental Council website will have very clear guidelines on the licensing process and who can get, what kind of background is required, and what kind of a profile and academics are required. And of course, there will be an English requirement as well. So, off the top of my head, I don't know if this particular course, which is what do you call doing a oral health course, will get you a license or not. But connect with our team. We will research it, and along with you, we will come out with a clear solution about your future possibilities after doing that course. And as regards residency would depend on finding a relevant job to the course you have completed, whether it is dentists or doctors or engineers or IT professionals or marketing people or administration or customer service. Guys, it all boils down to finding that relevant job to the course you've completed, and that pretty much seals the deal in terms of being able to get a residency, because you need to get 160 points, which is a combination of your age, your qualification, your work experience, if you have a job in New Zealand. And the job in New Zealand gets you the maximum number of points, and especially if you find a job outside Auckland, you also get 30 extra bonus points. So that's the way it works. So Elvia, connect with our team and send me an inbox message on Facebook, or send your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we'll take it from there and give you further advice. All right, cool. And my team also tells me, Elvia, that you're already talking to one of my team members, but you have not signed up yet. So go ahead and take the step. Sign up with us. There is no money involved to everybody. I can tell you, to sign up with us as a student, there is no money involved. You just need to say, yeah, we'd like to go ahead with this, and give us your documents, and we will start the process. There's absolutely no money involved. So go for it. In fact, a lot of our students start the process, and for some reason they stop it. So that's just the way this industry works. So we're absolutely fine with it. So don't be under the impression that if you send your documents, somehow we are holding on to you, and then we will hound you to death to go to New Zealand. We are not people like that. We will give you all the information and put all that in front of you, and then you guys can take an informed decision. All right. So LVR, please start the process, and we'll be able to advise you further. Prakash Bahuguna asked, what is the scope of IT in New Zealand? Very good, Prakash. Information technology is very, very fast growing in New Zealand, and it is in our long-term skill shortage area of New Zealand. And Every Monday, I get an email from a gentleman called Graham Muller, who is the CEO of an organization called NZ Tech, which is like the apex body of the information technology industry here in New Zealand. And every Monday mailer from Mr. Muller goes on to lament about the fact that there is a shortage of skills and that we are not creating enough local graduates from New Zealand to be able to fulfill the skills. So we will need migrants, we will need expatriate workers to address this shortage. So the scope for IT is very good, Prakash, and I've made a few videos as well on the requirements for IT people in New Zealand and how critical the shortage is. So please have a view of that on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Arun Jacob New Zealand, and you should be able to get my YouTube channel. So scope for IT is very good, and also connect with our team. A lot of our students have and our clients have gone on to establish themselves really, really well in the IT industry. So if you are coming as an AJV student or client in New Zealand, we will also network you with all these people, and hopefully through your own intelligence, your background, our networking, and our advice, you should be able to succeed. So Prakash, please do connect with our team. All right, email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will take it from there. Vincent Chazi, how can I contact you and start application? Same thing, Vincent. As I told you, you can inbox me through Facebook. You're already there. Send me an inbox, right? Send me your details, your contact details into my inbox as a message, and we will get back to you. Or if you prefer to send your CV through email, send it to info@ajvglobal.com. And Vincent, my team tells me also that you want to connect only with me and nobody else, which I think is being a bit unfair to the rest of my wonderful team. We are not one or two people, we are 30 people spread across three different countries, and we are all equally competent in the work we do. Some of our team members have worked in the immigration departments of various countries, and they are part of our team now. And most of us have a minimum of 4 or 5 years work experience. So, guys, you can all trust our team implicitly, and please connect with whoever is a team member from AJV. I know, I mean, of course, you would all want to connect with me, which I truly appreciate, and it is a bit flattering, but also I probably will not be able to deal with each and every query myself individually. I have a particular role to play in the organization, and that role does not involve actually frontline counseling except through these Facebook sessions that I do and through my YouTube sessions. But Vincent, go ahead and connect with our team confidently, and we will take it forward. The way we work is if the advisor you're talking to cannot give you an answer, it goes to the team leader. If the team leader cannot give an answer, it goes to the manager. If that manager cannot give an answer, it goes to a senior manager. If the senior manager cannot give an answer, then it comes to me and I will give an answer. So don't worry about it, guys. We have good checks and balances in our team structure, and you will be taken care of. So please contact each and every member of the team at AJB with full confidence. We will get it sorted for you. All right, cool. Okay, right, Abhishek. But hi, Arun. How's it going? Love your videos. Thanks, Abhishek. Appreciate that feedback. My question is regarding the new proposed visa changes. If the changes go live after I start my course next March, but before I finish my master's by the end of 29, will this still apply to me? Specifically, the change in the post-study visa from 1 to 3 years. Secondly, do you have an idea of when the changes might take effect? Thanks, Abhishek. First of all, thanks for your feedback. Really appreciate that. Thanks for it. Always puts a big smile on my face when somebody tells me they like my videos. So yeah, cool. As far as those videos are, no, sorry, as far as those policy changes are concerned, Abhishek, I think last time I used this, this particular gesture to show that the immigration department is trying to push in this direction, and the education department is trying to push in this direction because the immigration department wants to cut down on the number of international students coming in or whatever. But the education department wants more and more international students because they bring in great revenue to our country, and they've created a fantastic industry for us. I was sharing the details last time. It's $4.5 billion is the size of the international education industry. 33,000 jobs. It is twice bigger than the wine and fisheries industry, and the target is to take it up to $5 billion by 2025. So I actually have it pinned on my wall so that I can do a ready reference. So there is still a discussion happening. I believe some of the changes might come through, but we don't know at this point. It is still up in the air. They ask for consultations from the public. Even I sent my consultation. So let's see the way it goes. But I don't think there'll be very dramatic changes. And I think again, it's not easy for me to sit and predict whether the what changes come will affect you or not personally. But I think when you look at it from a common sense point of view, I think they will make it applicable to anybody who graduates after that policy change comes into place, if it comes into place. So, and also if you're coming at level 8 or above, there is nothing to worry about. It's only if you're coming at level 7 and for a graduate diploma, then these things might have a certain effect on you. But like I said, we don't know yet at this point. I actually made a video. It's sitting in my YouTube channel, and it's all dedicated only to this proposed policy change. Please have a look at it. But I would suggest you go ahead and start your process anyway. And I think I mentioned this in one of my previous live sessions. If we believe that is detrimental to you as a student, we will tell you to stop the process, even if it is the last day or when you're about to file your application, because we like to be very upfront and straightforward with you guys and let you know if it is something that's going to affect your future. We will not put our profit ahead of your future growth and your career. So we will never do that. We will give you that commitment that we will always think of you first. So just start the process. Let's see how it goes. And if the policy changes, we will advise you at that time. All right, Abhishek? Yeah, cool. Hardik Joshi says, I have done my graduation in information technology and now I want to do masters from New Zealand in same domain. So, how are the job opportunities there? Hardik, I just, if you rewind back about 5 minutes, I answered very clearly about the information technology demand and skill shortage here in New Zealand. So, good decision to choose information technology to come for a master's because it's also at a good level. And job opportunities are very good. If you go to our biggest job website in New Zealand called seek.co.nz, and if you put information technology, you will see that information technology jobs are always the highest as compared to any other industry. So, good country to choose, good course choice, and good subject, of course. So, yeah, absolutely. Connect with us, Hardik, and we would love to help you. And I think the last piece of the puzzle for you to succeed in New Zealand is to have a good onshore advisor after you land here in New Zealand. And that's what we guys at AGV are good at. We like to hold your hand and walk with you along all your journey from day one to till the end when you reach that goal of a job or a residency in New Zealand. And that's something that I think makes us very happy and that also sets us apart from a lot of other companies because most companies do the admission and visa and after that it's goodbye. For us, it's not just admission and visa. For us, it's admission and visa and making sure you come into New Zealand well, you settle down well, that your course goes well, that you get your post-study work visa. We offer a free service for the post-study work visa to all our students to the best of my knowledge. No other company does that. So there's a whole lot of support we give. Plus, we help you to network with some of our past clients and students, and that also gives you a confidence. And more than anything else, I think we give a lot of confidence to our students, telling them, "Don't worry, guys. If you're good, you will make it." And that seems to be working wonders at the moment. So, Hardik, please connect with us because you seem to have a fantastic profile, and we would love to work with people like you. All right, cool. Rakshit Patel, can you tell the scope of chemical engineering student scope in New Zealand? Good question, Rakshit. Not a lot of people ask me about chemical engineers in New Zealand, but again, engineering is on the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. A lot of engineering professions are in that. I can quickly bring up to see if chemical. Yep, I just brought up the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand, and chemical engineers are in fact the first profession mentioned in the long-term skill shortage list under the engineering profession. So, absolutely, chemical engineers are wanted in New Zealand. So the scope would be good. It's in our long-term skill shortage area. We want to attract people from different parts of the world who have this background, are willing to invest time, money, and effort to study it further in our country, and then also go on to address our skill shortages. So good course choice, Rakshit. So please connect with our team if you have not already connected. And yeah, we'd love to help you and put you into a nice university which has got a good, strong chemistry department as well and take it forward from there. All right, Rakshit. So the way to contact us is either you can send me an inbox message on Facebook or send your CV to info@ajbglobal.com and we'll pick it up from there. All right, cool. Abraham John, sounds familiar. I think I've spoken to you before, Abraham. Any amount to be kept as deposit or to be shown if they're on a job search visa? Not if you before you apply for the job search visa, you need to show that you have money. Uh, but after you get the job search visa, I don't think you need to show that money. So hope I answered it. Unless until you're going for further visas, but further visas would mean that you have found a job. So then there is no need, from a common sense point of view, to show that you have money because you have a job offer. So hopefully I've answered that question. Hi, Prashant Srinivas asks, hi, can you please give some insight for dentists in New Zealand? Good question. Let me quickly check to see if dentists, well, I mean, dentists are not there in the long-term skill shortage list for sure. But Prashant, the scope for dentistry is quite good. I would suggest you get onto two websites. Get onto seek.co.nz, which is our largest job search website in New Zealand. Go in there and take a look to see if the what is the scope for dentists and dental technicians and so on and so forth. Also, go to the Dental Council website of New Zealand and check to see how you can match the criteria to be able to get registration as a dentist in New Zealand so that you can practice. Again, just from a generic understanding. In fact, yes, only yesterday I took one of my kids to the dentist and I was having a nice long chat with the lady who was the dentist and doing work on my kids' teeth. And yeah, I think the scope for dentists is pretty good. But like I said, I can't recall how much of a scope it is, or maybe I can actually bring that up for you as well while we're talking, because we do get a lot of people from dentistry asking us what is the scope, and to the best of my knowledge, there is a decent scope. So I'm going to go to one of the official websites and say what is the scope for dentists, and it says dentists, right now, the job opportunities for dentists are average. Chances of getting a dentist are average for graduates, but good for those with experience. That's what the official careers website says. So it may not be greatly in demand, but like I said, go to these two websites and do a bit of research for yourself. Plus, connect with our team. We could possibly suggest some other alternative solutions in case dentistry is something you may not be able to pursue because you can't meet the registration requirements. So get in touch with us and we'll spend some more time, because in this live session, all I can do is spend 1 or 2 minutes on each answer. But if you're able to connect with us, send us your CV to info@agvglobal.com or inbox me on Facebook and we'll be able to take it forward from there. All right? Cool. Okay, Mahendra Singh, sir, I'm 36 years old, having a small scale business of trading medicines. Wanna come to New Zealand? Please guide me. Mahendra, you'll have to describe in what fashion you want to come to New Zealand, because you can come to New Zealand under so many different visa categories. You could come purely as a visitor, enjoy the beauty of our country, and then go back to your country. You might want to come and pursue higher studies and then seek to create a career. You might want to come as an entrepreneur. You might want to come as an investor. There are so many different pathways and reasons why you want to be in New Zealand. So, because you haven't mentioned clearly what it is that you really want to do here, Mahendra, suggest you write an email to info@ajvglobal.com, give some background information about yourself, and also mention what is your purpose in wanting to come to New Zealand. And then we will do an assessment to see whether you match the reasons for why you want to come to New Zealand. And then based on that, we'll also be able to provide a solution to you. All right, Mahendra? So please do send us your email. All right. info@ajvglobal.com. That's the email, guys. I mean, I say it so many times. I probably will wake up in the middle of the night saying info@ajvglobal.com. So, cool. Next question from Fun Zone. I have done my I have done my graduation in business administration. How can business graduates get PR in New Zealand? I mean, hey, Fanzo, like anybody else, you need to, if you have done graduation in business administration, I'm presuming it's not in New Zealand, but somewhere else. And To get residency in New Zealand is not easy and straightforward now. They've changed the rules. Earlier, people, even without a job offer in New Zealand, could apply if they got the required number of points. But last year, they changed the rules. So you need to have either employment in New Zealand or a job offer in New Zealand, or you need to have studied in New Zealand for minimum 2 years and have a master's or a PhD. So those are the basic criteria. Plus, you need to get 160 points to be, which is a combination of your age, qualification, work experience. If you're married, your spouse qualification, or if you're on a partnership, so on and so forth. So it's quite long and you know, complicated as a process. So if you're outside New Zealand, it's practically impossible to, I mean, almost impossible to get a residency in New Zealand. So one of the pathways that we suggest and recommend is to come as a student, study here, get the post-study work visa, find a relevant job, and that will give you the that will help you to fulfill the first condition, which is to have skilled employment in New Zealand, and that will give you the required number of points to be able to make a resident visa application. So it's like I said, it's a long, complicated discussion, fun zone. So suggest you send your CV to info@ajvglobal.com. We will come back and connect with you and put forward all the different options for you to consider. All right. So Vincent Chazing, how can I contact you, please? Info@ajvglobal.com, Vincent. What are my job opportunities for a level 8 public health student? I guess the same as anybody else. There is a reasonably requirement for people in the aged care industry, which obviously is related to health matters. So I think there is a reasonable demand. I was reading it somewhere in the newspapers recently that there is a pretty serious shortage developing in the aged care industry across New Zealand. A lot of New Zealanders are kind of getting older and they're getting into care homes, so there is a reasonable amount of demand from these homes. Plus the DHBs or the district health boards also always have some kind of vacancy or the other. So I believe you would be in a reasonably well placed position to be able to get a job in the health industry, Shakina. If you're not already in New Zealand and you're still planning to do this course, get in touch with us, because one very important factor which can help in your success is to have local advisors like us in New Zealand who can kind of continue to advise and guide you and also help you to get some connections. But if you're already in New Zealand, just keep applying, be patient, be persistent, and something is bound to come through. All right, cool. Okay, Others Bijou, what about Diploma in Professional Cookery in New Zealand? Is it a good course? Absolutely, Others. I think it is a very good course to consider. Again, chefs are in our long term skill shortage list, and we are a country that is massively reliant on tourism as one of our top industries. In fact, it is our top revenue earner at the moment. So, tourism is where New Zealand makes a lot of money. When people come to New Zealand, they have to eat. If they have to eat, somebody's got to cook the food. If somebody's got to cook the food, we need chefs. So it's as simple as that when you work it backwards. Not only the overseas tourists, but I think even for Kiwis, eating out is quite a normal thing. So there is a domestic demand as well as an overseas demand. So chefs are always in demand, and very briefly, it went out of the long term skill shortage list, but it came back into the skill shortage list, and I'm going to cross check it quickly before I confirm. Yep, the chefs are in the long term skill shortage list of New Zealand. So, good course choice, and I would strongly encourage you to do it. Not just strongly encourage you to do a chef course in New Zealand, but strongly encourage you to come to New Zealand through AJV, because at least 10 to 12 of our students have done a course in chef in this particular line, and they've become very successful. One of the proudest things for me to talk about when I'm talking about chefs is one of my ex students now worked for the New Zealand Navy as a chef. So very proud about this gentleman, and then a lot of other young people are there. I have a couple of people here locally here in New Zealand as well. In fact, one of my colleagues, her brother has also come to New Zealand to study as a student and to do a course in chef, and he's recently got a job at one of our largest restaurants here in Hamilton. And I think overall the demand for chefs is pretty good, and the future would also look very good. So, others, connect with us, and we would love to help you to get into our chef's course and also connect you to the network of our other students. But overall, good course choice. Right. Mahendra, I think I think I covered. Jahid Chaudhary asks some question which I can't figure out what it is. Job visa, Hobil Naki. It sounds like some language out of Lord of the Rings. So, Javed, please reframe your Jahid. Please reframe your question so that I can answer. Uh, right, there is a question from Neeraj Kaliraman, sorry, who says, "Good evening, sir. I applied for student visa but declined two times. Sorry to hear that. My sister is permanent resident of New Zealand who sponsored me for all. I applied in Toy Ohoma Institute, applied project management." Okay, cool. I think we would like to see your decline letters, Neeraj. I mean, you're obviously not one of our students. If you were one of our students, I would have known by now the reasons for your decline. But again, guys, talking about declines, we have a very, very high percentage of success with our student visas and other visas as well. And we are very careful when we present our applications to the Immigration Department of New Zealand. And we like to create and present something called decision ready files so that all the verification is done by us and everything explained very clearly and nicely to the assessing visa officer. So, Neeraj, I don't know who was the person who helped you to put your application. So, we would like to see what was the problem with your application. So, I would recommend you email your decline letter to info at ajvglobal.com. I'll take a look at it and come back and tell you whether we can fight that case, and if yes, how much it's going to cost you and how soon we can help you with it. So please send us your decline letter, not just Neeraj, but anybody else who's got declines before and wanting to kind of apply again. Please talk to us. We are very good at fighting cases that have been lost before because, like I said, we are very good in this thing, and we are sort of the New Zealand visa experts. So I don't want to sound immodest, but we can take a look at it. And if it's a absolutely gone case or a futile matter, we will tell that you're saying, look, there's no point trying to fight this any longer. Let it be, let it go. But if there is any scope, we will come back and definitely help you to fight it. So, Neeraj, please email your decline letter to info at hjvglobal.com. All right. Cool. Ganesh Reddy asks about job opportunities and what is the requirements. To generic Ganesh, what job opportunities for what field and what is the requirements? It will depend on that. And you follow up with another question called, I wanted to join for MS and how much would be the cost? Well, I mean, MS would be, I'm assuming from your second question that you are a person with a science background. So job opportunities for people with a science background are always good because it's a technical subject, and we are as a country we are trying to seek to attract people with a good technical background, and that's why we have something called the long-term skill shortage list, which mostly would have very technical subjects inside there. So if you have a technical background, I think it's something that will suit us really well and kind of fit in well with the local demand we have here in New Zealand. The cost of an MS depends if a Masters of Science could be a 1 year or a 1.5 year or a 2 year, depends on what is the duration, which university. But by and large, if you're, I think you're looking at about 25,000 New Zealand dollars for a 1 year course. So what I suggest Ganesh is to get in touch with the team and based on MS in what are you looking at, MS in chemistry or mathematics or statistics or whatever else you're looking for. Based on that, we can come back and not only give you a few university options but also the cost options as well. So please get in touch with us, Ganesh, and we'll give you all the information that you're asking for. Right. Cool. Funzon, how can masters graduate in business studies? I think I've already answered you, Funzon. You need to be here, study, get a job, relevant job, and then you'll be able to get the points required to make a resident visa application. Dilwa Surya. Hi, I'm Dilwa. I want to study BA journalism in New Zealand and I want to get citizenship. How many years it takes to get citizenship? Dilwa wants to jump straight to citizenship, which is great, Dilwa. Most people tend to ask me about residency, but you've jumped straight to citizenship, which is great. I like the way you're thinking way ahead. Journalism is an interesting subject you're choosing because journalism is one of those. It's good. It's not often that I get somebody asking me to talk about journalism. It's mostly about subjects like IT and business and chemistry and so on and so forth. So it's good to get a query about Journalism falls under something called an identified future growth area for New Zealand. So, besides the long-term skill shortage list, which is a published list for us, we also have something called the identified future growth areas, and this is subdivided into three main areas. First is information technology, there's biotechnology, and then there is the creative industries. Under the creative industries, I think there is architecture, journalism, creative industry, of course, filmmaking, radio, television, all that kind of stuff. So journalism is in our identified future growth area, and I guess there's also a reasonable level of ethnic journalism trends that are beginning to form now in New Zealand. So there could be opportunities for you. As far as citizenship is concerned, you'll have to first come, do your course, get yourself a post-study work visa, get yourself a job related to the course you've completed. From that job, you could either move into an essential skills or another post-study work visa, employer assisted, if they don't change the rules, that is. And then after that, you could apply for your residency. And five years after your residency is when you would get your citizenship, subject to meeting certain conditions, and you need to have maintained met all those conditions before you can get your citizenship. So, Dilwa, I think you would be an interesting person to work with for us because it's not often we get people who are interested in journalism. So, please do connect with us. Send us your CV to info@agbglobal.com and we'll come back and give you some good advice. All right, cool. Quickly checking to see my team is not giving me any instructions. These guys are on Skype and I'm on Facebook and YouTube, and yeah, that's how it is. Paturjan Vijay Sikra. I want to study filming in New Zealand. It's not a short list. Can I get PR? Paturan, same answer which I just gave, Dilwa. Filmmaking would be in our identified future growth area, but I must be honest with you. The scope to find a job may not be very high after you complete the course in filmmaking because we don't have a very massive filmmaking industry here in New Zealand. So you could be one of those lucky guys. In fact, one of my students, his name is Ritu. I keep tagging him in some of my posts on this in our group. So Ritu came to New Zealand and he did a course in filmmaking from Waikato Institute of Technology, which is about 5-10 minutes that way. It's called Wintech. So he came and did a master's in moving image, which is filmmaking. And he found a job with Sky Television and is right now working with Sky Television. And he comes and helps me out in making some of my videos and stuff like that. So the opportunities are there. Not everything may be in the long-term skill shortage list, but the opportunities are there. It depends on whether you can unearth those opportunities. But in filmmaking, the opportunities are not as wide as, let's say, IT or other things. So you have to break it down into two parts. You'll have to say, what am I learning in New Zealand? On that, you're 100% okay because it's a great place to learn filmmaking. The environment is beautiful, the landscapes are spectacular, and there's some very good masters who will teach you filmmaking. But getting a job will depend on how confident you are and how pushy you can get. So I know a few people who did filmmaking and got jobs and are able to move into residency and PR. So the possibility exists, Paturjan. So what I would suggest is send your CV to info@ajvglobal.com. We will check further to see what course we can get you and also connect you to some of our past creative students so that you get some insight from them. And then based on all that information, you can take a decision. All right. And Paturjan, my team tells me that you're already talking to us, but you have not gone ahead and committed yourself yet. So I'd suggest go ahead and submit your documents. Let us examine what courses are available for you. And then based on all the information, you can take a call. And then if you need further information, we can give you. But we'll also connect you to some of our ex-students who are now in the creative industry. Probably they can also give you some insights. All right? Cool. Okay, Shakina. Hi, Arun. Appreciate your live videos. Really helpful for all of us. Thanks, Shakina. I'm glad you find them helpful. And what are my job opportunities after finishing level 8 public health course in NZ? Shakina, I think I already answered your questions, but thank you for your feedback. Appreciate that. Paturjan is also repeats his question. Love your videos. Thanks for that. I want to study filmmaking. I just answered Paturjan, and thanks for your feedback as well. Okay, Abdul Karim Ahmad. Hi, sir. Please let me details about mechanical engineering study at NZ. I passed A level. Mechanical engineering, good course choice. As I said, engineers are in the skill shortage in New Zealand, so it's a good course choice. I You passed an A level, so obviously we can look at a course that will kind of build from that level and take it upwards from there. So overall, good course choice and subject choice, Abdul. And as I just mentioned about a few minutes back in this live broadcast, I think we do have a pretty serious shortage of engineers, which is why it is in the long-term skill shortage list. So if you can come and do a course and find a relevant job and you have the adequate English, the skills, the knowledge, I think you can do pretty well in New Zealand. Our team will connect with you, Abdul, because you've shared your email address as well, and we will get back to you with some options. Based on that, you can take a decision. All right. Cool. Okay, Mandeep Sharma, what is the demand of wood manufacturing? As my agent said that it is easier to get PR. I don't think so. Mandeep, again, see, wood manufacturing is not just manufacturing, it is wood manufacturing, which is kind of very narrow it down to that particular thing. I don't think it is very highly in demand, uh, but I can quickly check while we are talking to say if it is in demand. But I don't think wood manufacturing will come out very highly in the okay wood. So there is something called a wood processing worker, and it says the chances of finding work as a wood processing worker are average due to lower overseas demand for processed wood. So it looks like it's not in very high demand at the moment. So you need to be careful, and that's what I keep telling you guys. Agents will say whatever they want to say because they want to make money. So you guys need to be smart, and you guys need to do your own research, and I mean, don't trust anybody, including what I'm saying. Why you don't have to believe everything I'm saying is the God's truth. You have information at your fingertips. Just get in there and check what is the scope of wood manufacturing in New Zealand, and there'll be tons and tons of information and job sites and everything else that will come out. So you guys need to be smart. You guys live in the information era and you have information at your fingertips. Yeah, sure. No, there are some people like me who are able to get out there and put some good, honest, genuine information out there for all of you. But you guys need to be you are finally the ones who will be responsible for your own decisions. So please make do your own research and don't blindly follow what an agent is saying or a consultant is saying. So you need to be a bit more careful, and you also need to be working with an organization that will take care of you not just in your country but after you reach New Zealand. And that is where we guys at AJB feel very happy that we are present in New Zealand to continue to give you advice even after you land in New Zealand. One of my common things I say in all my videos is most international students think, oh, getting admission and visa, job is done. They don't realize that it's only maybe 15 or 20% of the job. The other 80% of the drama starts after you land in New Zealand. And this is really where you need more advice, more support, more confidence, more somebody to get on the phone and tell you, don't worry, it's all going to be fine. Talk to him and frankly, connect with any of our AJB students. And I think what sets them apart is the fact that they can pick up the phone and give me a call, or give Mary a call, or give Prakash a call, or we're going to add another two or three more people onto our onshore team here in New Zealand. And, we are always there to talk to you guys because we've been through the system, we've been through the process, so we know what we are talking about. So be careful that don't fall prey to what your agents are saying. So coming back to your question, Mandeep, I don't think you should be looking at only that wood manufacturing course. I think you need to get a bit more broader. Connect with our team. We'll put some more options in front of you. Toyohomai is a good institution. That's where the wood manufacturing course is. But that sector itself, I think, is a little narrow, so you need to be a little careful. And I just checked the careers website and it says it's only average chances right now. Akshay Patel wants to know if construction management level 7 is good for a career. Absolutely, Akshay. A lot of construction happening in New Zealand. We actually have a housing crisis at the moment, so there is a lot of houses being built, and construction is also in our long term skill shortage area. So, definitely a good option to choose, especially if you already have a bachelor's in civil engineering, construction. I think it's a good combination. And again, like quite a few of our students who have done construction related courses have done well. they picked up jobs, and some of them have also moved on to progress into essential skills or into resident visas. So I've noticed from my own students' trajectory that construction management seems to be going pretty well. So yeah, good course choice. I would strongly recommend it. Get in touch with our team, because if you work with AJB, we can also connect you to some of our previous students who are already in the industry, and hopefully it'll ease the path for you as you progress from studies to job, and and future options as well. My team has given me the bell saying 7 minutes to go. So Jawal Jawo, sir, I'm an MBA graduate in logistics and shipping. How can I get a job in New Zealand? Jawad, go to my YouTube channel and check for a video which says, how can I get a job in New Zealand? It's pretty much your question, for which there's a big long answer in the video. It's kind of not possible, easy to get a job in New Zealand when you're not present in New Zealand. So go and watch that video, and it's a very clear explanation. And my team will also get in touch with you. Also, why don't you send your CV, email it to us to info@ajvglobal.com. We will take a look and put some options in front of you. Have a read. If you like it, go for it. If you don't like it, doesn't matter. We will remain good friends. All right, cool. Ahmad Fawad asks, "Hi sir, I'm automotive engineer working as insurance loss adjuster for motor claim. I would like to shift my career to data analyst. Is it possible?" I mean, absolutely, Ahmad. I mean, if I would like to shift my career to being a filmmaker. I'm being honest. If I have a chance to become a filmmaker, I'll dump all this immigration work and go become a filmmaker tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, changing careers, I don't think it should be a problem. It's just that you need to plan that shift in a proper manner. You can't just say, "Oh, you can't just wake up one day and say, oh, I want to be a data analyst." So we need to kind of find a bit of reason to see whether you have some kind of background to be able to shift from. But you already have a good background. You're an automotive engineer working in insurance, so it's a very interesting combination already. So possibly you could move into data analysis, but like I said, we will need to spend some more time with you and understand your reasons for doing that, whether you have any kind of a background where we'll be able to fit you into a course where they will accept you in the first place. And then, also kind of caution you to let you know caution you to let you know whether it's a good thing to do or not a good thing to do. We'll give our honest opinion, and then based on that, you can take a decision. So, yeah, all the best, Ibad. But I'm always in favor of people going for their dreams. And if you want to change your careers and go into one of the most classic career shifts I came across was a friend of mine who was a medical doctor. One day he said, I don't want to do this thing any longer. So he walked away from his medical profession and became a 3D animator, which was great. I felt, I mean, he's always been a big hero to me. So, yeah, someday I will walk away from here and become a filmmaker. So, till then, at least I'll still sit here and do my videos for you guys. Okay, my team has told me also put in a word about how we can advise about all the things one needs to do while you're studying so that you become successful in New Zealand. Okay, my team has been telling me to do a video about the things you need to do while you're studying in New Zealand to be successful. I think one of the most important things you need to do is to be able to network yourself, because a lot of international students come to New Zealand, and they kind of get caught in that little well of their immediate friends only from their country or from their state or from their city, and from their own language. So they kind of continue to stay in that well. And I want to tell you guys that, and girls, that you've come all the way to New Zealand not to stay in that little circle again. You've come to experience a big wider world out there. And New Zealand is the European New Zealand, the Maori New Zealand, the Pacific New Zealand, the Chinese New Zealand, the Indian New Zealand, the South African New Zealand. There are so many New Zealands within New Zealand. So you'll need to get out there and start networking yourselves. You'll need to connect with your professors, build a good rapport with them, because those professors have the industry connections. So if you go impress your professors, those guys will more than likely also help you to network with the industry, possibly even become very good reference points. Talking about references, for all AGB students, we become automatic references because we already know you and we are working with you. I must have helped at least 15 to 20 of our students to get into good jobs because they have used our names as reference. And people call me and ask, hey, look, how do you know this person? What do you have to say about him? And we say, hey, look, this person is our student. He came to New Zealand through us, and we know him or her for all this while ever since the process started. The person is good with documentation, the person is punctual, speaks well, so we give a good reference, and so many people have found jobs because of it. So finding references is very important in New Zealand. One is, if you come to a company like AJV, we become automatic references. Otherwise, create good references in your institutions. Get out there, get out of your comfort zone and start networking. On online, there is a thing called meetup.com. So there are different kinds of meetups for various things. So if you're, for instance, into construction management, there will be a meetup for construction management professionals. If you're into IT, there will be various meetups for ITs, and not only just professionally, just just for the sake of adventure. Join some outdoors club. Join your local organizations. Do volunteering work. Volunteering is very, very important because not only do you interact with the local Kiwis and begin to understand how they think, and you begin to change yourself as well. But so all these things are very important. So maybe I'll make a separate video on all the kinds of things. Come out with points, because right now I'm reeling off the top of my head. But the most important thing is to get out of your comfort zone and start networking and putting yourself out there. And see, I mean, frankly, I'm not a very public sort of a guy. I'm quite private, to be honest. But look at me. I sit here week after week in front of this camera on YouTube and Facebook, and I speak to all the guys. So I'm putting myself out there because that's the way I can achieve success for my company and for my team and for myself. So sometimes we will need to get out of our comfort zone and do these things. So that's the most important thing about being in New Zealand. And very, very important to improve your English skills. If you're coming into New Zealand with average English skills, you'll need to work on it and, kind of keep improving upon it. And because if at the, you got to bear in mind you're in an English speaking country predominantly, and so you need to have very good English speaking skills. So I'll come back and talk more about it, but get out there, guys, and, let go of your shyness and all those things, because you've come very, very far all this while of all this far to be able to succeed. So you need to get out of. You've already gotten yourself out of your comfort zone. Push yourself a bit more after you reach New Zealand. And if you're fortunate to be an AJV student or client, we will help you to walk that journey together and kind of get you out a little bit and help you to network. All right. Cool. Kunal Singh, hi, greetings of the day, AJ sir. Awesome guidance, sir. Also want to know about the level 7 course of hospitality and tourism management in New Zealand. Will it be good for my future experience of 6 years? Okay, Kunal, by the way, is a student of AJV, just confirmed by my colleague Sai. And so, thank you, Kunal. Big thank you for choosing to work with us, and thanks for your feedback as well. Level 7 course in hospitality and tourism management will be a good course to pursue, Kunal, because as I told you just a little bit before, New Zealand's biggest money earner, revenue earner is the tourism industry. So we have a requirement for professionals in this particular industry. The government is constantly trying to, ensure that this industry stays on top of the pile. So always there's going to be a demand for good tourism and hospitality professionals. And the other good thing about you, Kunal, is you already have 6 years of experience, so which is great. So you already have experience. You're coming into a country where tourism is the number one industry, and you're coming through AJV, which means will help you to network with other people already in the hospitality industry. Some of our own clients are already there, and through a combination of all this, I think you will do well, Kunal. All right. And once again, thank you so much for choosing to work with us. Really appreciate that, Kunal. And if my friend Kamal is listening from Wellington, Kamal is one of our students who's already here, and he normally pops up in these chats and in those live broadcasts, and he comes up. Last time, Kamal, kept calling you Kunal in my last broadcast. Apologies about that. I promise I'll never call you Kunal again. I will call you Kamal. Right. Okay. My team has now said the last question for today. So I'm going to answer Gayatri Sara K. Hello, sir. Myself, an MBA graduate in healthcare management. What courses would you suggest for me to have better job opportunities in New Zealand? Very interesting question, Gayatri, because behind your basic question saying that you're an MBA graduate in healthcare management, I would be keen to know what you did at your bachelor's level, because your MBA is obviously specializing in healthcare management, but I would also be keen to know whether you had a BSc or a BCom, or what is it that you did before. We also like to know why you chose healthcare management as your specialization, And as I told you already, that I think sometime back in this broadcast, I mentioned that there is a requirement in the aged care industry for healthcare professionals. Plus, all our district health boards are constantly looking for professionals as well. So the scope could be good, but again, we need to know why you're specifically in healthcare management. Do you have a technical course before this? Did you do a BSc nursing followed by MBA in healthcare management? So we need to understand that, and we like to understand a bit more about your backgrounds before we are able to put a solution in front of you. So, Gayatri, thanks for writing. But if you could also share your CV with us, either you can inbox it to me or you can email it to info@ajvglobal.com, and we'll pick it up and we'll come back to you. But overall, the scope for healthcare management could be quite good. One more of our students, I'm just giving an example, recently has a background in physiotherapy from India, came to New Zealand, is doing a course in healthcare management, and she swears that there is adequate demand for healthcare management professionals in New Zealand, especially in the aged care industry. So the possibilities could exist, Gayatri. But please do send us your CV, and we will come back to you with more details. All right. So quickly checking to see if there were many more questions. Not too many actually. Right. Okay. Then I think I might as well close this for the day. Priyesh, Nile. Okay, I'll quickly run through the final few questions and get on with it. Right. Okay, quite a few questions actually, guys. So I may not be able to run through all of them. Uh, King Ashutosh from Nepal says, I need a job, sir. I'm from Nepal. Please check my video, King Ashutosh, which says it's not easy to find a job in New Zealand. Yasin wants to know how much time it will take to get Silver Fund visa for 10 plus years work experience in IT sector. Please read about the Silver Fund visa. Yasin, the rules around it is not very simple. They're quite complicated. Um uh, Mohit wants to know what is the minimum requirements to take admissions in MEd. Obviously, you would require a bachelor's in BEd, and your IELTS has to be very good, Mohit. So please connect with us, and we will give you more details. Agwir Singh says, Arun, I want to move. All the best, Agwir. Please connect with us. Send your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will give some solutions to you. Just Sandhu says, good job. Thanks, Just. Appreciate your feedback. Okay. Javad Javu, I've already answered how we can find a job. SF says, I have completed master's in computer application. I'm single and working in IT company in Pune, looking for job possibilities in New Zealand. Kindly help. Please go to YouTube and search for my video which says, how can I find a job in New Zealand, SF, and it will give you some answers. Pavitri Aryananda asks her what happened to the new rule changes for student. No change yet, Pavitri. We are still waiting to see what happens. It may happen, may not happen. I have made a video only related to that topic. Please check it out on my YouTube channel. Priyesh wants to know how is the postmasters in construction management in AUT level 9? Does this have scope in New Zealand job market? Absolutely, Priyesh. Very good course, very good university, and the outcomes have been very good. If you're coming to New Zealand through us, we can connect you to 3 or 4 of our students who've done the same course and now very well settled here. So please connect with our team, Priyesh. We'd be happy to help you. Tosin wants to know, I'm 38 with 10 years experience in safety coordinator and administrator. I would like to study construction management level 7. All right, Tosin, we would love to help you. Please email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com. We will connect and examine to see whether you fit that particular course, and we will definitely take it forward from there. Um, Voracious Falcon wants to know, good name, Voracious Falcon. Sir, coming for PGDM and hotel management level 8 with bachelor's degree, but I have no work experience in hotel. So is level 8 right choice from PIMS, or am I going to face difficulty? Is it the right choice? Absolutely good choice. You already have done a level 7, which is your bachelor's. So logically, you're going to the next level, level 8. PIMS is a very good school. And like I said, hospitality is in good demand in New Zealand. So I think you will do well. And warm welcome to Kiran Lal, our student who has just reached Auckland. Well done, Kiran. Warm welcome to a very cold Auckland, but we will touch base soon. Please call Mary and send me a text, and we will have a chat soon, Kiran. But welcome to New Zealand, and thanks for choosing AJV. Much appreciated. Okay, AJV Global, Voracious Falcon says, I'm a bit scared as I don't know it's right choice for a graduate like me to go for level 8. Absolutely good choice, don't worry about it. And I think the word scared is very important. I'm going to close this session on that. Don't be, if you're scared, guys, don't do this. If you're scared, do not take this jump. But, to go abroad and succeed, you require guts and you require a lot of commitment. You require the ability to know that there will be tough days and that you have the strength to succeed even despite the toughness. We all went through it. I came to New Zealand in 2001, and so we all went through this trauma of moving to a new country and settling in. So being scared is part of that whole experience, but you have to overcome that, that scaredness and that fear, and kind of overcome those butterflies in your stomach and go for it. When you go for it is when you make it, when you go overseas. All right. So, well, looks like I've kind of knocked off all those last few questions. Sorry, I couldn't get into detail. But as always, thank you very much, guys and girls, for watching my live broadcast. I hope it makes sense to you. And as always, my team and I would love to bring you honest, straightforward, genuine, authentic information about moving to New Zealand, studying here, working here, settling here. And if there are more questions, please email info@ajvglobal.com or connect with me on your Facebook, YouTube, and happy to give you more answers. So thanks once again. This videos on this session on YouTube and Facebook will become a recorded message. Please share it with your family and friends. And till the next time, goodbye from Hamilton. Take care. Good night.